So a couple weeks ago, I was opening this book or a magazine or something that was wrapped in this really thin, clear plastic wrap. And I got a piece of it stuck to my hand. So I started violently flinging my hand at the trash can to try to get it in the trash where it belonged. And once I realized that the more effort, the faster I was moving my hand, the more I was charging the static electricity, the more I was making it stuck to my hand, did I realize enough to stop, look at it, see what a brilliant analogy it was, see how thankful I was for this obnoxious moment in my life, carefully, slowly remove the plastic and slowly place it into the trash can, was I able to rid myself of the obnoxious plastic that was stuck to my hand. This is how thought works. The more you try to get rid of a thought, the more it charges it. The more you try to rid yourself of a circumstance you find intolerable, because that is a thought, it is not actually the circumstance, but it is created by your thought, the more it will stick. Now we start to realize the power in thought, and initially when you start to realize this, or you realize how thought works, or start to realize truths about non-duality, sometimes we misinterpret them. And the end-all be-all of this is to listen to feeling. So you can hear a very direct pointer, but because it's sort of like meeting up against these beliefs that you're holding, or because of the way you're interpreting it, it feels really bad. It could be a very true pointer, or it could be a very misleading statement from somebody who is not understanding and is speaking from a place of emotional discord themselves. It is that feeling. The truth is in the feeling itself. So always pay attention to the feeling. There's really nothing to do about it. But realize that the reason your thoughts have power is because you give them power. This works the same way as giving an authority power. If you decide that somebody or some teacher or some religion has the truth, it has spiritual authority, is because you've decided by feeling or logic or whatever to give that authority to them. That power was never lost. You can give away your power. You're so free, you're so powerful that you can actually give away that power. And we can go and join a cult and we can be deluded into doing some pretty crazy things, or giving up all our possessions or whatever else, because we have that power. But it happens one thought at a time that we give our power away to that thought. And so when we meditate and we cut ourselves off, so to speak, from the world, from the knee-jerk reactions of, I saw that, he said that, this happened, this traffic situation is why I feel this way. We start to observe our thoughts, and we see each thought, and we see our freedom and our power to, that we can take it back from the thought and disbelieve the thought. And that it was essentially always ours, that unperturbable peace, the peace that passeth understanding, was always what we're ever made of. One of the early ways that we start to see how this works is we see how the food we eat affects how we feel. So if you eat a lot of sugar and you experience depression, time lag, and then depression, which is a common thing that people sometimes experience, you start to look at your habits and see how they put you in a vulnerable state where you start to experience and believe a lot of thoughts that aren't true. So you realize that the thought that's picking on your relationship and saying that everything has gone to hell, those thoughts aren't actually true. But, oh, I haven't been eating very healthy, so I'm going to get my diet back on track. That feels a heck of a lot better than just believing that those thoughts are your reality. However, we can take it a step further and realize that again is attributing the sugar as the cause of our feeling bad and as the same old pattern. So I'm not saying that sugar doesn't make it very hard in some circumstances to feel good if you're eating like way more sugar than is recommended every single day. But we can start to create a whole bunch of like rules that we have to stick by and concerns that we can't have that piece of cake at the birthday party, or we might be depressed the next day, and we start to create this situation where we can't live freely in the world and enjoy treats because we have created this very strong framework of beliefs that we know we want to feel good. We put feeling good ahead of that, but we're still not seeing how those thoughts are creating that. In the same way, we can do this with spirituality. We need to meditate every day. We need to be in a state where we're aware, conscious, and this is where states and levels of consciousness come in. We need these to be a certain way to feel good. Even dropping the thoughts, I need to drop the thoughts. I need to disconnect from the thoughts. I need to disbelieve the thoughts can again be that framework that I cannot eat sugar or I will get depressed. That freedom, that peace is already yours unconditionally. The thoughts are what seems to create conditions. So ultimately, we end up with nothing. We end up with no steps we need to take. Doesn't matter how we eat, doesn't matter how we think. We're already okay. It is in that trying to get rid of, like the plastic, that I am making an attempt to rid myself of this, that it actually sticks to us. We really just curiously see what the lesson is. Oh, the revelation, insight. The reason epiphany and insight feels so amazing is because that feeling is marking it. Always go by feeling. Feeling is the guru with the capital G. People can give you the most direct, wise pointers, and it will take you down the wrong road unless it's aligned by feeling. You can misunderstand things. Always go at your own pace. Don't try to get rid of it. Look, go slowly. Go at your own pace. Respect what you know. And curiously look at it, because all you know really is in this very moment. And one of the best ways that we can take ourselves out of being in a funk is in our direct experience, seeing something tiny to appreciate, seeing how the light falls just so on something. And it takes us into that sort of ephemeral place where it's no longer that this is an object, this is a thought, I am another object, but that we are it. We start to dissolve with it, and there's nothing that we can exclude ourselves or nothing that we have to rid ourselves of. The reason that thought has power is because we give it the power. It is your power. You are prior to the giving away of that power. The reason thought has power is because it is completely impotent. That's the beauty in it. And you cannot, even if you indulge in thinking and think the worst things, you cannot make yourself unhappy, because you cannot make yourself happy either. It's so much easier than that. Thank God. It's so much better than anything we think it is.